how to increase your average order value. Okay, if you have a product and you're trying to increase that tricky, right, AOV, average order value, I want to teach you in this video exactly how I do that while keeping my customers happy and not get you in hot water. Let's dive in. Hey, going forward in this video, I'm actually gonna refer to average order value as average cart value. They mean the same thing, but my world and where I come in the funnel place, right, the funnel land, we call it average cart value. What does that even mean, Steve? What average cart value means is, well, think of it this way. Let's say you go to the grocery store to buy eggs, and while you're waiting in the checkout, you're like, oh my gosh, a Snickers, and you go and you add something to your cart. That increases the average per customer that is spent. So what we do is we try to find cool ways to increase the average cart value while keeping the customer happy, but also making more money per transaction, per customer as they come through our store. So let's dive into these principles here. Hey, my name is J Larsen. I worked at ClickFunnels for 2 years as the lead funnel builder over there. And I left my job and then we crossed 9 million in 3 years. And it's been awesome. It's been a fun, really cool journey. And I've learned a lot along the way. Specifically, what you're looking up right here is really gonna help you make more money. Okay, this is really, after you launch a sales funnel, after you launch a product on the internet, asking the question, how can I increase the average cart value? How can I increase the average order value? Should be asked by everybody, all right? This is the small little fine-tuned tweaks that you start making to your process that really make a lot of difference to your wallet, okay, at the end. One of the strongest times I can ever remember a good example of this, it was right when Russell launched the first version of the Expert Secrets book. We started this sales funnel 2 days before the launch. I don't recommend that, but Russell was like, dude, we got this funnel to build. The book is coming out in 2 days. Oh my gosh. We had been promoting it like crazy, but we hadn't actually built the funnel yet. So we hunkered down. That was more caffeine than I care to admit I ingested. For 2 days, we built the sales funnel and there were some problems. Okay, we built the sales funnel, we launched it, we put it out the door. The version of the sales funnel that you would see right now is not what it was when we launched it. You went and you bought the book and you're like, yeah, $7 for the book. The next upsell was, I think it was something for like, I don't know, 97 bucks or something like that. The next upsell was something for like $297, right? That's kind of as many upsells as we like to put in. 2, maybe 3 max, right? 2 is usually the most I like to do, okay? Because they increase the average order value. So it was very apparent that the second upsell was just not working, right? So when somebody would come in and spend $1, now stay with me here, okay? I know this is kind of thick, but stick with me here. This is how we all do this, and this is why millions get created. If you can understand this piece right here, it's super big, okay? If someone comes in and they buy a book off of Amazon for $7, what's the average cart value? $7. There's no upsells, right? There's no knickknacks by the checkout stand. Make sense? If I go in and I use a sales funnel though, this is why we all use them, for a $7 book, and someone buys a $100 upsell, and everyone's doing that, the average cart value is $107. Does that make sense? That means I am literally making so many more times. I can't do math in my head on camera. I'm making so much more than the guy who probably isn't making money selling his book on Amazon. Now I am. Whereas most of the rest of the industry loses money on their book or breaks even or makes $1 or $2. We're making 90. Does that make sense? We're making 100. Does that make sense? That's why we seek so much to do this. So it became very apparent that the second upsell was not working in this Expert Secrets, the first version of that book funnel. So we were up at this cabin working on a script 2 or 3 days later after launching this book funnel. And in the middle of the night, basically, we swapped out the second upsell and it boosted our average cart value. Now, Steven, that's a lot of storytelling. What's the principle? The principle is that if you need to boost your average cart value, you can raise price, and there's ways to do that where it doesn't tick off your customer, but it's a little more hot water. So instead of increasing price, what I like to do, although I will raise price sometimes, what I like to do is I will just increase the number of offers. Instead of raising price, just raise the number of offers, right? What happens when you have an upsell? When you give, just ask this, we'll wrap this first principle with this. What do you think happens when you give people the option, the ability to spend more money? They spend more money. They just do. So it's your job to make sure you over-deliver on what you're selling. But if I say, hey, while we send this book to you, you want this thing? I'm like, hey, last one we promise. Do you want this thing when we send your book to you as well? Boom. Percentage by each of those. The average order or average cart value per customer goes way up, and it lets us actually make a lot more money and spend a lot more money in ads profitably. The second way I like to, and this is not a definitive list at all, but the second way I like to go and increase my average cart value, super simple. It's crazy. I can't believe how stupid simple this was. I was looking at two funnels, same funnel style, they were both for affiliate marketing. One had a 5-day follow-up sequence and the other did not. And I was looking at the stats and I got sick to my stomach and I wanted to punch a socialist. I was so ticked. Okay. Not sorry. All right. Because the one with the 5-day follow-up sequence had twice the conversion rate than the one that had no follow-up sequence. Now that might sound like a no duh, but it literally illustrates the principle that the fortune is in the follow-up. Okay? Fortune is in the follow-up. So one of the easiest ways to increase your average cart value is to first have a follow-up sequence, right? Bringing people back who didn't buy something to just very gently, right? There's no high pressure sales here on this. Hey, did you want this thing? You left the page. Amazing how much that increases your conversions just because you remind them. Maybe something happened in their house and they just lost it. Maybe they couldn't find their credit card. Maybe they couldn't, right? Maybe they had full intention to purchase. You're just briefly reminding them. So first of all, have a follow-up sequence. The second, though, the real principle I'm trying to get to here is to increase your follow-up sequence. I have a buddy right now who has a 60-day follow-up sequence after you watch his webinar. It's not this high pressure, just like thumb screw thing either. He's very crafty on how he put it together. The largest follow-up sequence I've ever heard of now, I think is 5 years long, meaning an email a day, pre-written over 5 years, right? That's amazing. What do you think happens when you increase the time on your follow-up sequences? Average cart value goes up, okay? So you might have lost money acquiring the buyer through an ad, but because, oh, you know what? On average, day 13, day 14, day whatever, on our follow-up sequence is where we finally break even and make profits. Does that make sense? Just increase the length of your follow-up sequence. One of the easiest ways to increase max cart value. Before I dive into this third part, how to increase your average cart value, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button. We spend a lot of time putting these videos together. Hit the bell and it will tell you. We pretty much put a video out every single day, but I'd like to know on top of that, down below in the comments, what have you done to increase average cart value together? I love my community. All of you are absolutely amazing. I love how much we're all givers. What is one of your favorite strategies? We'll make a bank of cool ways to increase average cart value besides the one I've said down below. So you can scroll down below, check out the ones others have said, put your favorite one down below. Doing that, we'll all read them down below together. This one might make you laugh just a little bit, but it's really, really simple. When is the best time to sell somebody? Right after they bought something else, right? And so on the thank you page, we put an offer. It's really simple. We put an offer on, we call them literally thank you page offers or thank you page walls or thank you walls or offer walls. Those are all different terms for the same thing. But one of the easiest ways to increase your average cart value is to offer something on the thank you page. Like, Steve, how do you do that? It's a thank you page. This is kind of how it looks. Hey, what's up? My name's Steve, and thanks for buying, I don't know, this book. It's on the way. We're packing it up. We're shipping it out. Our fulfillment house is taking care of it. But I don't want you to sit around waiting, being bored by the time this book shows up. So I'm actually just going to start your training right now. We have another product about blah. Do you want it? Click below for blah, right? And so we literally just drive and direct momentum. If they're in momentum as a buyer, I just don't stop their momentum. I just direct it to the next thing in my value ladder. I direct it to the next thing, my next more expensive product. The reason I held this up is because when ClickFunnels did this for the Expert Secrets book, now these are probably not the numbers now, but at that time, if I think I'm correct on this, the average cart value went from $44 to $66 because they put a $1,000 product on the thank you page. $22 more on a $7 book. That's crazy. No one else can spend $66 to acquire a buyer on a free plus shipping book, but they can because they have $66 on a book. Who's going to spend $66 on a book? But on average, by the time people are done with cart and checking out, they're like, you know, I really like this knickknack. Let me put that on the cart. You know, this knickknack. Let me put the cart. And it's like the checkout stand person saying, did you know that we actually have this other cool thing you could go buy, like while they're checking them out? They send them over to another cash register to go purchase it. After a time, a percentage of them would buy from the $7 book, the $1,000 thing or the next tier thing, and raised all the cart value from 44 to 66. It's probably different now. That was years ago. But that's the power of it. Okay, so these thank you page offers are one of the biggest tricks to increasing average cart value. Highly underused in my opinion, but they're a very easy way to boost and make a huge lift. Hey guys, I got a free little gift here for you. If you're trying to figure out ways to cash flow your offer more strongly online, if you're trying to figure out ways to cash flow not just harder, but start to transition to more evergreen strategies. I got a cool free presentation that will teach you some of my favorite campaigns, some of my favorite cash grabbing, and they're not paid ads. I still don't know how to run paid ads. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com, and there's a free presentation there that will walk you through some of my favorite campaign models. They're super fun, some of my favorite ways to make sure my doors not just stay open, but I can start to evergreen. Go to internetlaunchsecrets.com for the free presentation.